Tell me you don't want to pay $917 a month.
I don't want to pay $917 a month.
Okay, now, I would go through the standard stuff first. What's your name?
Kevin.
Kevin, in order to reduce your payment, the easiest thing you can do is put down another couple grand. You got another couple grand to put down?
No.
Okay, how about we extend the term?
No.
Okay, all right, Kevin, you don't want to pay $917 a month. I get it. You could, couldn't you?
Probably.
Okay, I completely understand. By the way, is this the highest payment you've ever had?
For sure.
Okay, probably the nicest car too, right?
I've had nicer, but yeah.
Okay, look, Kevin, what I'm about to say next is going to sound like a riddle. You are not going to pay $917 a month to drive this vehicle. Okay, now what you will do is you will write a check for $917 every single month. Okay? But if you're like most people, when you send it to the lender, you think the lender keeps it all, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. The lender doesn't keep it all, metaphorically speaking. Kevin, you know this vehicle is going to depreciate, right?
Yes, it will.
Okay? Now, the good news is they're not depreciating like they used to. Okay? But after you make your 60th payment of $917, Kevin, what comes back in the mail to you a couple weeks later?
Another bill for $917.
No. After you make your last payment.
Oh, I'm thinking 72. My bad.
No.
My bad. So I'm always on 72. Yeah, the title.
The title comes back. All right? And it's a cool title because right now that title's got a couple different names on it. It's got our name on it, it's got a lender's name on it. When it becomes yours, it's going to have your name on it and a lender's name on it. But when it comes back to you, it's free and clear, and it's got one name on it. It's got Kevin's name on it, correct?
Correct.
Now, if you drive this Explorer like you intend on driving it,
Ram.
you're buying an Explorer, Kevin.
Okay. So I pay nicer than what I'm buying.
If you drive this Explorer like you intend to, you don't do anything special. You take care of it, but you do nothing special, but you don't crash it and you don't trash it. What do you think that vehicle will be worth? This $47,000 vehicle that's not going to depreciate like it used to, what do you think it'll be worth when you make that last payment? 5 years from now.
5 years? About 30.
I hope it's worth 30,
I hope so too.
but let's be conservative. Let's say it's only worth 25, okay?
15 and 30.
So now, 5 years from now, you've got no car payment at all. And you've got a $25,000 paid for asset. Okay? You got a phone on you?
I do.
Pull out that phone. Divide 25,000 by 60.
$25,000.
25,000 by 60.
416.
Kevin, you know what that 416 represents?
You know what I could have had if I had good credit?
No, Kevin. That's not what it represents. What that 416 represents is the amount of money coming back to you every time you write that $917 check and send it to the lender. Metaphorically speaking, 416 is going right straight back to your title. Now, 917 minus 416 is 501. Kevin, you ain't paying $917 a month to drive this vehicle. You're paying $501 to drive this vehicle. Now, do you have any other accessories you want to add to this Explorer before you take delivery?
You got me?
That's a bit close.
Still don't wanna get 917. Really don't. That's high for an Explorer.
You're not even buying the Explorer. This is a role play.
Yeah.
Is this mathematically correct?
Yeah.
Does this include all the interest? Where are my finance people? If you don't know this close, you are not prepared. Because finance people, what percentage of the people that come into your office would like someone else to pay for the repair on their vehicle if it breaks? What percentage would like the deficiency balance taken care of by somebody else if they total their vehicle? What percentage of people would like their tires or wheels replaced if they blow or break them? And their dings and dents fixed forever, et cetera, et cetera. Why doesn't everybody buy everything then? Because the payment stops them most of the time, right? Where about finance guys? What percentage of people coming into your office are already on the highest payment they've ever had in their entire life? Most. Most, yeah, if not all, most. And now you're trying to bump them up another 100, right? This is a great way to do it. If they can write the check. What's easier to say yes to, 917 or 501? 501. The math is easy. Ask the customer a question. You know, when I learned this, by the way, from a top-notch Harley Davidson salesperson. I mean, this guy was one of the best in the country. I trained Harley people for a while. And I was training them on how to handle payments. I've got 5 or 6 ways to handle payment objections. And this old boy raised his hand and goes, I think I got one better than you, Steve. I said, sure you do, little fella. Thinking that's impossible. And this is what he showed me. I can't tell you how many people across the country have written me and said, you changed the way I sell cars. I've never closed as many people on payments as I have now because of this. Key number 1, customers got to be able to afford the gross payment. If I can't write a check for 917, is this going to work? No. You know, I've done this with, I don't know, maybe a couple hundred live customers. Have I closed everybody? Shoot, no. But most of the time when I don't close them, it's because they can't afford the gross payment. Okay? This is unusual, but thank you. Thank you. The math is easy. Once we get a number from the customer, the only trouble I have sometimes is getting the customer to come up with a number. I used to use a lease residual chart, but I had to have a chart for every single make and model out there. And the book was about this thick. So one day I went to work as a closer and I forgot my book. So I just asked the customer what they thought the vehicle would be worth. Once in a blue moon, a customer would say, I got no idea, I can't give you a number. And then I'd open up KBB and take a 4 or 5 or 6-year-old vehicle, depending on the term, and find out what it sold for and what it was worth now. And then we use that percentage. Okay? But that's rare. Once the customer gives me this number right here, what do? What do I divide it by?
The term.
The term of the loan in months. In this case, it was a 60-month loan. Had it been 72, I would have divided it by 72. Had it been 84, I would have been divided by 84. Okay? Once I get that number, what do?
Subtract it from the note.
Subtract it from the gross number. That's all the math involved here. This is not quantum mechanics. This is not trigonometry or algebra. This is division and subtraction. The math is easy. Telling the story is what requires some work.